Hello everybody. How are you all? Hope you are all great today. Welcome back to my channel. It's so nice having you here. It's so nice learning new things. Today I'm here with a new poem, Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Brine. Let me read the poem for you. It will be very nice if you join me while reading. Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Brine. Let's begin. The woman was old, ragged and grey, and bent with the chill of winter's day. The streets were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeded the glance of her anxious eye. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came happy boys like flock of sheep, hailing the snow pile white and deep. Past the women so old and grey, hesitant the children's on their way. None offered a helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stir, lest the carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery street. At last come out of the merry troop the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, I'll help you cross if you wish to go. Her aged hand on his strong young man he placed, and so without hurt or harm he guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow, and someone sometime may lend a hand to help my mother, you understand. If ever she's old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. Somebody's mother bore low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God be kind to that noble boy, who is somebody's son and pride and joy, by Mary Dow Brine. Now let us look into the explanation of Somebody's Mother. Somebody's Mother is written by Mary Dow Brine. She was born in 1916 and died in 1913. She was a poet, an author, a lyricist. She lived in New York. She wrote many books. She wrote many poems, especially children's books. She is best known for her poem, Somebody's Mother. Now let us understand the poem stanza by stanza. The first stanza. The woman was old and ragged and grey and bent with the chill of winter's day. The streets were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. What does it mean? Here, the woman is the old woman, and this woman was wearing a torn clothes. Ragged is a torn clothes. And she was aged, she was old. And because of the winter, as it was snowing, it was somewhere in Europe, and it was so cold, and it was winter, and it was snow everywhere. Because of the snow, the extreme climate she couldn't bear, and because of that she was slightly bent down. As it has snowed and the street has been white, the old woman was walking slowly because of her old age. We all know how elderly people are. They cannot walk like us. They walk slow. They are a little bit bent. They are not as straight as you and I. Their backbone doesn't stand straight like you and I. And when it is so cold, it's snow everywhere, and she's wearing torn clothes. The poor lady, she's aged, she's old, she's weak, she's poor, and she's bending. Let's now look into the second stanza. At the crowded crossing, she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeded the glance of her anxious eye. Jostle. Jostle means push. Push someone aside. Push someone aside from your way. And unheaded, not noticing. Glance. Glance is to look. Anxious. Anxious is worried. Let's look into the meaning. The old woman was waiting there at the crossing. She was waiting to cross the road, but people were pushing her aside. They were very callous towards her. Nobody noticed her. Her eyes were worried. She was so worried. How could she cross this road without someone's help? Here we find how people are. People are so busy in their life. They don't have time for anyone. They don't have a time to look around to notice there is someone, an innocent one. Maybe that innocent one requires your help. People are selfish. We have to learn here that we shouldn't be selfish. We should be selfless. We cannot help every time everyone, but if we come across someone and an instant say, yes, I have to help him, then go forward and help that person. That help will never be wasted. That goodness will turn into blessings, and these blessings will come back to you someday, the day where you actually need someone's help. Now let's move down towards the third stanza. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school letter, came happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piles white and deep, past the women so old and grey, hesitant the children's on their way. Let's look into the meaning of few words in the stanza 3. Flock of sheep. Flock of sheep means group of sheep. Here, this flock of sheep is compared to children's. Hailing. Hailing is shouting merrily. Snow piled. Snow piled. Pile means heap of laid things or lying one top of other. Hastened or hastened. Here it means hurry, quick. Now let us look into the explanation. Once the school let off, all the boys came out with happy singing songs, shouting, just like a ship following the rudder. Children came out in line. Here you can find the word like, which is indicating the figure of speech simile. By seeing the heap of snow, the pile of snow, the boys started shouting, smiling, laughing, giggling. Once they were out of the school, they saw the snow and they were so happy to see the snow. They just wanted to go and play in the snow. And they started going ahead. They all ignored this old aged lady. They walked so fast on their way. Now let's look into the next stanza. None offered a helping hand to her, so weak and timid, afraid to stare, lest the carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery street. Here, timid is shy. Okay, stare is move. Least is might, like you can maybe. Tremble is walk over. What does this stanza talks? The stanza says those boys, none of them gave any hit to her. None of them noticed her. They were so fast. She was so weak. She was afraid. She was shy. And she was walking so slow. She thought maybe a carriage, or wheels, or some horse. During that time, the carriage or the vehicles used to use horse in European countries. Maybe now also there are many places where we find horses being used to carry goods. So she thought maybe she'll come under any of these wheels or horses. Perhaps she would be run over that. And the road was so slippery as it was cold and there was snow everywhere. Because of that, the road was slippery. Now let's go into the fifth stanza. At last come out of the merry troop the gayest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, I'll help you cross if you wish to go. At last the merry group of boys came out from the school. Here, what does it indicate? Merry group is a happy group. A happy group. We always have in our schools a group which is very jolly, very happy, very outgoing, a little bit naughty. So this group came out. Among them, there was one boy who was the gayest, the most happiest. Okay, he came forward towards this lady and slowly he whispered, quietly he spoke to her and said, Can I help you if you want to cross the road? If you wish to go, I'll help you to cross. Her aged hand, the next stanza, her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed and so without hurt or harm. He guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friend he went, his young heart happy and well content. This old lady, she gave her aged hand to this young boy who has a strong arm. He is very proud that he is strong. And without hurting her, he was very conscious. He took care that from nowhere he is going to hurt her. And very carefully he gave her a drop to the other side of the road. And her hands were shivering with this trembling and shivering because she's old. He guided her shivering feet, and he was so proud. He was so happy. So he was so content. After doing this moral act, he went back to his friends. He was happy and well content. Now he has a good story to tell back home. He is proud that when he'll go back home and he'll tell his mother his story, mother will be very proud of him. Now let's go to the next stanza. She is somebody's mother, boy, you know, for all she is aged and poor and slow. And someone sometime may lend a hand to help my mother, you understand? If ever she's old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away. This stanza has such a deep meaning, I tell you. If you understand, you will understand how we have to respect elderly people. We are supposed to take care of them. We are supposed to love them. This little boy, he go back to his friend and he tell, this lady, this mother is a mother of someone. Now she's aged, she's poor and she's very slow. Someday, sometime, my mother will also become a old lady. Maybe she'll also become poor and slow, and maybe I'll be not there to help her. But I'm sure there will be someone to help her. Last stanza. Somebody's mother bowed low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, God be kind to that noble boy, who is somebody's son and pride and joy. This stanza tells the reflection or the reaction of the woman. She's been helped by this little boy. Later she goes back home and she's having her evening prayers. And she's bowing her head towards God to pray. She asked God, God, give kindness, give love to this little boy, the noble boy who helped me today. Be kind to him. This poem is written by Mary Dow Brine. It's a beautiful poem. It has a beautiful message. Hope everybody has listened and understood the deep meaning of this poem. Let love be with us. Let us love each other. Let's spread the love, the message of love to everyone. Be kind to each other. Maybe it's an animal on the street. Maybe a lady, a very old lady. Maybe someone who needs our help. Let's be kind towards her. When we share kindness, kindness comes back to us. Let's do good to each other and to everyone around us. Thank you and have a nice day. Friends, kindly subscribe to my channel. It will mean a lot to me. Thank you once again.